Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to Answering the Bell, our Sunday morning call-in for this Sunday, February 15th, 2026. This is number 194 in the series of call-ins, and we're here to talk about our beloved sport of boxing. There's so much going on. Do you know right now there's like a couple of cards going on from different parts of the world? We got fights scheduled for later, and as I've stated most recently, we are inundated with boxing now. There's just so much going on in the sport. I took the evening off yesterday. I didn't do a post show for the fight cards that ran yesterday. DAZN had a couple of cards broadcast live. I do have to take some time from time to time to recharge the batteries, but that doesn't mean I'm unaware of what's going on. It's just that we have a great deal going on. So it would behoove my brothers and sisters out there in the community to step it up and help fill the gaps, because I can't do it all, man. I can't do it all. I'm old, I'm old. So I'm here to, kick a little bit of, inspiration, and encouragement, But I ain't towing the load, man. No. Some of y'all got to use them muscles and stuff that you're going to the gym, getting all fit and fine, Yeah, get on out there and get this boxing content out there, Yeah, since you're dropping pounds, yeah, and you're shaping and reshaping, the bodies, yeah, and working it out. Well, get out there and work this content out. Because Stormy is old, I can still talk my ish, but I'm old, man. And if you hit me, you going to jail, because I'm a senior now. Yeah! But anyway, welcome everybody. Happy Sunday morning to you. This is the day that the Lord has made, and you should be rejoicing in it. That's right. So, first of all, let me give mighty thank you and shout out to Columbia, who's put the links out there for the channel. There's a great deal of support coming from that, excuse me, supporter of the channel, and I appreciate her doing that. That's the type of assistance and help that we need. We should do these things for one another out here, you know, because you really establish a unified front when you do these kind of things. So I look forward to when my brothers and sisters are doing their thing. I like to come out there and show support with all three of my channels. Sometimes people be looking and say, hey, is that really Stormy? Yeah, that's Stormy. Stormy got 3 channels, 4 if you count Rumble, huh? And I'm going to tell you something. All of that helps with your algorithm, huh? Sharing the content, putting it on your various social medias, because some of y'all, huh, got 15 accounts or more. Yeah, do that, huh? Share them on those pages. That's 15 extra thumbs ups and likes and shares. I try to encourage you guys to do it the right way, huh? That's what you got to do. So, what's good, man? We got so much boxing. It's unbelievable. Just a couple of years ago, I want to say it was about a little bit, maybe 3 years ago, the brother Drew Titan and I were doing a show, and we were talking about, man, boxing needs to get it together. We need to see, more on the schedule. They shouldn't spread these shows out so far apart, and then when they do have them, they put pitting them against one another, on different networks, going live at the same time with their bouts. Well, since the consolidation of Turkey Al-Sheikh, Ring Magazine, The Zone, that's kind of been lesser of a problem and issue, huh? Yeah, and that's all right with me. I enjoy being able to flip my TV on and go right directly to that particular app. Now, some of y'all like canceled the Zone and everything, and I understand. But it's a lot of fights over there, man. And now with Zuffa Boxing on Paramount Plus, Dana White, in cooperation with Turkey Al-Sheikh, they're doing this stuff over there, man. Yeah. So it's a lot. It's a lot going on, man. It's a lot. One other thing I wanted to say before we get started, I wanted to acknowledge a PayPal donation by the brother Ray M. Yesterday, he sent a PayPal donation, and since I wasn't live at all, I still want to acknowledge when the supporters do their thing. And salute to you, Ray. I appreciate your donation to the channel, because we be grinding over here. If some of y'all didn't catch my live stream Friday morning, my On the Move, very good stuff there. Very good stuff there. In fact, I had a couple of people who are not normal supporters of the channel message me and say, hey, this is some good stuff here. I appreciate that and acknowledge it, because sometimes there are those who feel a little bit hesitant to come forward and say, hey, I like what you're doing or whatever. But you like what you like, man. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong. Over here is welcome arms. We just don't like the trolling, and we don't like the ignorance over here. But outside of that, if you love the sport of boxing, participate, huh? You got to take part and what it's like when you go out for a meal, huh? You go out to get what you like, huh? You don't be sitting up in a venue and I don't like this. This smells horrible. This tastes bad. I don't like it. This service is what? Why are you there? That's why they have ratings, and you could go online and check out what the people say about the joint. Some people like living with their nuts in a vice, huh? They do. Look at Miguel and them folks there. They kind of messing with my audio again. You know, that choppiness. You hear it, but we're going to press through, huh? We're going to press through. How you going to start the show off and everything says that it's all good? But then these folks get to sticking their fingers in there. You know, doo-doo fingers is what I call them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But we're going to see who we got in the building this morning, because we live and in full effect. We got Joe Gagliardi out there saying salute. He was asking how I'm doing. I'm doing just fine, Joe. Appreciate you coming out there early. Columbia with the posts of the various links for the channel. Thank you so much for that again. And Joe is also reminding us there's fights on YouTube Live right now. Okay. Benjamin Harrington in the building saying salute Stormy in the chat. My brother Joseph Townsend, the pimpin', is in the building saying good morning, OG. What's happening with you, brother? J-Man is out there. Convos with Cam in the building early this morning saying salute Stormy in chat. What's good with your convos with Cam? You know, Cam, I know when you go live, I love your content. And if no one has shared this with you, you may know this already, but if you post when you intend to go live on your page, notifications will go out. Now, the people who really check you out on a regular, they're going to see that you're live. You know what I mean? But for someone like myself, if I happen to be doing something, what happens is you're already live for me, or I've been doing something and I go back and I look through my notifications and I see that you were live already, and you might have finished up or whatever. So let's just say you intend to go live at 11 o'clock this morning. If you post it on your community page, your post page, for whatever reason, YouTube puts that out in the algorithm regularly, and your supporters will be waiting on you when you go live. I just wanted to share that if you didn't know that. And I'm not trying to say you don't know, nothing like that. I'm just trying to help because it'll help me. So, I want to see this stuff. Like, I feel bad when I'm watching the replay, but I can't comment, because it's already happened. And I'm like, man, he talking some good stuff over here. Cerebral. These folks, man, messing with my audio. Boy, I tell you, they need to just stop the foolishness, man. They really do. This shit right here. It's really insulting. There are times I go live, you don't hear none of that. Then there are other times when the stuff comes in, it kicks in. It's like they wait for me, huh? And they get that pulse of, oh, he got some viewers coming in. Because I'm going to tell you guys something. You know, I've been targeted because I'm a member of the LDBC. But guess what? I'm buckling down even harder as a member of the LDBC. That's what, because the LDBC represents something that they don't like, huh? And that is positive, gaining, elevating content, huh? And we speak truth over here. Yes, we have our people that we support and things of that nature, but they want us to kowtow. No, there's no kowtow. We live for the purpose of doing things with the positive and correct intent. Some of us have different ways that we go about what we do, but it's all with the same energy, huh? Yeah. But we do this. See, there were people who tried to be a part of what we do, and they broke away because they have that same slave mentality, huh? That slave mentality that is always seeping and creeping into anything positive, anything that is replenishing, because they are not the main focal point. You have to be selfless, huh? In order for things to flow properly. When you're selfish, huh? Things collect and gather into one spot and there's no movement, huh? A lot of people don't understand how that works. There's always a lesson. You don't have to take an L. No. Take the lesson. Let me go back to the go back to the roll call, because we got some brothers and sisters out there this morning. Always happy to see that. Where did I leave off? Speaking directly to Cam. Okay, we got Del Rev out there saying salute Stormy. Ravens Nation is in the building. T-Berry, where you been? Is back with us saying peace. Cam says, share the video, smash the like. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna put Girls of Truth in the building. Be back. It's back with us. Yeah. PGH Big Dog in the building. Just popped in. What's good? Forge Y2T is in the building saying, good evening, Stormy B-Man, listening to your show from the UK. Hey, what's good with you, brother? Thank you for joining, man. Hit that thumbs up. Share the content over there in the UK. I know you guys in the UK know about Stormybman, but you need to put me on blast over there so I can conquer, and dispel some of that foolishness that happens over there. I'm a true representative of the sport, man. That's right. Stormy is bringing it. Appreciate you being there. Yeah. So, with that being said, Anthony Bolton, what's good? Call-in lines are open. Let's have a conversation, man. Don't forget, people, I'm live over on Rumble, too. If you haven't had a chance, please go follow me over there on Rumble, because over there, all I need is a minimum of 100 followers, and I can consistently launch from there, and we don't have to worry about this audio issue and everything that YouTube seemingly wants to take me through on the regular, And then we can do some positive things over there. And I can play some different music for you guys as well. How about that, Yeah. Cause see, this is a nice little jazz tune I got playing, But then I can play my real jazz over there, I'll pull out some Al Jarreau on their ass, Yeah! There won't nobody be coming over here. Copyright. I give him the Tupac's peace symbol. You know, the one thing that Tupac used to do that I used to love to see him when he getting them photo images, and he be like, I love it. That's right. Because you ain't always got to say it, but you can display it. Sign language works too, It does. That's just like when Ali was fighting, in his, I won't say prime, but during his career, he used to do this. And everybody knew what that meant. Sign language. Yes, sir. So, lines are open. We can talk some good boxing. But before we do, I want to kind of remind people of what's ahead. This evening, we got Zuffa 3, man. Zuffa 3. And that's pretty good. Kamara, the Stepping Razor. Isaiah GQ, what's good with you guys? Hit that like button on the way in, please. Listen, this fight right here, Efe Ajagba and Prince Charles Martin, takes place this evening. Coach B, what's happening? I'm following you on the gram now. Your link came across my feed, and I was like, oh, that's Coach. I wanted to follow you over there. And Coach, I need to get your email so I can correspond with you. If you click on one of those links that, or even go to my description box, you can hit my Stormybman email, and then you can just send me a greeting, and then I'll have it. You know what I mean? That's for Coach Hudson. Appreciate you. But this fight here, Ajagba and Martin, I did a breakdown video on it. It's a good heavyweight fight, These two guys, if you kind of notice, nobody really talks about them, But there are still threats out there. And they're so busy looking for a new star. UK wise, over there, Forged Y2T, yeah, that's over in your country. They trying to look for a star. You should be looking for someone who's capable. Both of these two men have had setbacks in their careers, but they are still experienced enough, that they can upset the cart for a lot of people out there. I can guarantee you, Alexander Usyk is not looking to fight either of these guys. Now, some people will say, well, Usyk is better than them. He can whoop those guys. Both of these guys present the type of problem and issue that would be different for Usyk. They do. And I want to tell you guys something. If you look at how the divisions of boxing where certain fighters are established, there are always names that they never defer or refer to, but men who have always kind of like been right there in the midst. You know why that is? It's because they don't want no trouble. They don't want no problems. Fighters like these two men can cause problems. Yeah. FA, like Deontay Wilder, has a big right hand. He's a big man at 254 pounds with an 84-inch reach. That presents a whole different type of a picture. And Martin, who's 6'5" with a 80-inch reach and 250 pounds, that'll be facing FA this evening, he's a southpaw. And yes, when he was named the IBF titleist, he hadn't had the grooming and seasoning that would come later. But all you have to do is look at that fight he had with King Kong Ortiz. And though I made fun of, how the fight ended up being stopped, he still had King Kong in trouble. Had him on the canvas a couple times, and it was no accident. And he has gotten better since he lost to AJ. Definitely. He hasn't been as busy as you might want him to be. But if you look back at that fight he had with Jared Anderson, that was the beginning of the crumble for Anderson. Yeah. Yep. So, but these two are going to get it on this evening, and I can guarantee you it's going to be somewhat entertaining. It's going to be, because it's southpaw against orthodox, big right hand against big left hand, and somebody is going to decide, I got to win this. Now, if both of them decide that if they go against that sentiment, it's going to be a trouble. It's going to be a problem. But I don't think that's the case. If you saw my breakdown video, I kind of alluded to that, The objective fan in the building is asking, do you think it's lack of promotion or talent the reason why Ajagba isn't more of a household name? Inactivity, can't get fights, is a huge part of that. And whom he has been promoted by. See, guys in boxing have favoritism. And we've seen it with the sanctioning bodies. If you don't have someone that can give people like Suleiman that manila envelope, you kind of will be left on the outside. Yeah, you're gonna be on the outside. Do you notice how people are always leaping over many rated fighters in the WBC? It happens in the other sanctioning bodies too, namely the WBA. But if you notice, you see that type of activity where they leapfrog over. The reason being, you play ball with us, they play ball with you. That's right. Instead of the next man up. This contender challenged, didn't win, next man up. It doesn't go like that. That's why Zuffa is going to be successful. That's why Riyadh season events are going to be successful. Because it's quality against quality. Okay, you say this is A1 Hoop Zone. You're rebranding your channel. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. Kamara the Stepping Razor says Frank Martin made a comment in reference to signing with Zuffa. He said it's hard and fighters being unemployed after fights. Staying active is the key. That's right. Inactivity is the fighter's biggest foe. Because when you're not active, what happens is you get rusty, you lose your edge, you get out of shape, you lose your timing. And it's a sport where your competitive window isn't large to begin with. Fighters who fight for 15 years, or more, they're very fortunate. Because some guys leave this sport in way worse condition than they arrived. That's why what Turkey is doing is so important. Because not only is he awarding fighters their just due with putting their lives on the line in a competitive sport like boxing, but he gives you a chance to compete against the best that the sport has to offer. And also, losing the fight doesn't mean you don't get another chance with what Turkey has done. You see, the sanctioning bodies, they like to throw fighters away unless you're one of their guys. Like Canelo, he's one of their guys. Do you know that they put Canelo right back at number one after losing to Crawford? How was that? Now, of course, they got Billy and Lester kind of like right there, 1 and 2. But Canelo will be fighting for another title very soon. It's going to happen. That's what they do. But what about the number 5, 6, 7 guy? They never get a chance to move up. But these are things to keep your eye on. Keep your eye on. Come on, guys. We got the call-in line is open. Ajagba and Martin facing each other this evening. Ajagba's coming in. His record is 20 wins and 1 loss, 1 draw. Martin's is 30 wins, 4 losses, and 1 draw. Ajagba's only 31. Martin is now 39. So this is one of those situations where a guy has really got to get to cooking. It's important that they do so. I know what's good with you. Let's see here. I'm gonna make sure my line is good. Okay, the line is still good, you guys. No excuses. The line is good. Black Jericho, what's happening? Making me sneeze or something. Let me give me 1 second, family. Okay, we got 267 calling. Who's on the line? Welcome to the show.
Hey, what's up? B-Mac. What's going on, Stormy B-Man?
B-Mac, what's happening with you, brother? Good Sunday morning to you.
Good Sunday morning. Thanks for being consistent, man.
Oh, yes,
More
sir.
consistent than me.
What is that supposed to mean?
I can't call in all the time, or you're always on topic. I catch your replays, your boxing views, and that was a good one on Suleiman that you did, I think, Friday.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that guy, man. You can't do business with your feelings, man. Just because you don't like a certain thing or guy, you gotta do it for the business, for the people. You can't get mad at one fighter because he's cool with another fighter and then try to penalize him. I mean, come on, man.
Dude. That's not even it, B-Mac. That's not even it. What it is is plain and simple racism, bias, bigotry, and prejudice. Because I'm going to tell you, you haven't heard any flack about any of the Mexican fighters and sanctioning fees. You haven't heard any flack about them even when they have tested positive for PEDs and banned substances in the sport. You haven't heard any flack. They're protected. They're given par gras to go continue and to fight in fights, defending titles and everything. We are looking at utter corruption. But what I love about that interview that Chris Mannix did with Suleiman, he gave a chance quite openly. Let me say this clearly and succinctly. He gave you a chance to see the ignorance of that man who basically sat there and gave you a ton of lies and also displayed the same mindset that has held the sport in the toilet for a generation or more. Because his dad was bad, but nowhere near as bad as he is. This man is like the scummiest person I've ever seen in a position to be presiding over circumstances that can dictate how people's lives go. And why he's allowed to stay pat, I understand totally what it is. He's in, allegedly, with the cartel. Yeah, I'll say it if nobody else will say it. That's what that is. At the end of the day, it's corruption. When you take the money from some of these BAs, and you know what BA stands for, right?
You said VA?
BA, B as in boy, A
BA.
as in apple.
No,
It's code word for melanated people, huh? Okay?
okay.
If you didn't know that. But he's
No.
taking money from some of these BAs who happen to be good. Because great is a word that is thrown around too casually. But some of these BAs are very good and dominant. So, there's two things going on. One, to hold you away from being great in the sport, where legacy lies and things of that nature. Then, also economically, to entrap you by sticking their dirty little doodoo fingers in your purse to charge you with exorbitant amounts of fees. It's ridiculous. And see, it's an insult to the intelligence of a blue-collar working man like myself that I see this, and he could be on a platform and he's talking to people with all that's coming out of his mouth is diarrhea as far as I'm concerned. Because you, and see, Mannix, let me say it like this. Mannix talking to him, and it was said perfectly by another one of the brothers here in the community. See, Mannix is a white guy. A white guy. Mm-hmm. See, if that happened to be a black man, such as myself, interviewing him and speaking like that, they'd be like, oh, you're attacking him, you this, you that. No, he was asking the hard questions, the right things to get an answer and a response. And what does Suleiman do? He went right into talking about, you're bullying me. You're attacking me. You're attacking these fighters, bro. You're attacking them with your nefarious deeds. Why do you think he was making all of these different belts? It was so they can charge people. The Mayan belt, the Black History belt, all of this. Really? A world champion, a world champion is a world champion. That's why what Bud said was true. The ring belt, you could trace that back to Jack Dempsey and Jack Johnson and all them guys. That belt is the championship of the world belt. Mm-hmm. All these sanctioning bodies, these were just opportunities for them to come in and get their hands in the fighters' purses.
Who owns the ring belt?
The ring belt is boxing's representing title belt. The ring brand is now owned by Turki Al-Sheikh.
Oh, okay.
It's owned because he purchased it from Oscar De La Hoya, who for over the time that he had it, 20 years or so, I don't know how many years Oscar had it, but Oscar did nothing but promote Latin fighters and didn't have good, favorable articles on the BAs. And it was just a ridiculous source under his time that he had it. But what Turki has done is given the people that participate in the sport a point of reference of respect and a platform where they could be represented. Like last week when they had the Ring Magazine awards, the Black Tie Affair, where it was like the red carpet for boxing, Oscar wasn't doing stuff like that for these fighters. Dude, there were fighters from all over the world, and I just watched it yesterday. That's kind of like what I did with some of my time. I went to the Ring channel, and I watched the event because I didn't watch it when it was live, when it first happened, because it was the day before the Shakur fight with Teofimo. But you got all these world champions and contenders. These guys, everybody came out and they were treated with respect and dignity and given the light shined upon them for what they do. These are gladiators, basically, who fight in the Colosseum for our entertainment, and they risk their lives. But not only are they given the acknowledgement for their accomplishments, but they're also given respect and something to feel good about themselves. But guess who you didn't see there? You didn't see De La Hoya there. And he was the one that owned the ring before Turkey. Turkey also, you know what else he did? The ring belt, which has been for generations, he's now put value on it for the individual fighters. If you have a ring belt, dude, that belt is encrusted with gold and everything. It is like made to be something. Not only is it's a trophy, but it literally costs. It's expensive. And it's, like Bud Crawford said, free. Free. In fact, it costs about as much as that sanctioning fee they were trying to charge Shakur after defeating Tio, the WBC.
That was crazy. That was crazy.
Of course it was crazy.
You're going to charge and you don't have no involvement? Come on, man.
Yeah. See, and that's yours. You get to take it home. It's sitting in your, and when you come to your fight and you defending it, you bring it to the ring. But it still has value. You've heard Mike Tyson, you've heard Floyd Mayweather, you've heard a few of these fighters. Oh, belts don't mean anything. Well, why are you still fighting for these sanctioning bodies that take so much a percentage of your purse? But that gold encrusted belt, it has value. Even if you had to take it to someone because you were on hard times, you could get a pretty penny for that thing, bro. Not that I'm hoping or wishing anyone has to do that. I hope everyone's able to hold on to theirs. But the fact that it has been given to you and the value that it has, the money that it costs to make it, some fighters don't have anything of value like that in their lives personally. Turkey has turned this thing around. But it doesn't come without work. You have to put effort in. You have to be a professional. You have to go out there and you have to have some kind of ability to deal with conflict and resolution of conflict and all of that. But at the end of the road, there's a rainbow for the fighters. With Suleiman, you think there's a rainbow for you? And then you take those shitty judges that he pays off for his favorable fighters and everything, and he's still charging you extra sanctioning fees? It's ridiculous.
He don't care, man. I guess he's in Mexico, isn't he?
I'm sorry?
Is Suleiman in Mexico?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because he don't have nobody to really get at him and criticize him. He's over there. You said with the cartel, so yeah. That's why he feels so bold that he can do whatever he wants and mess up the sport of boxing and attack black fighters, or BAs rather.
I told you.
Yeah.
That connection to the cartel, all you got to do is use common application, brother.
Mm-hmm.
You look at those exorbitant amounts that he's charging these fighters. Where do you think the money goes? It doesn't go to the WBC.
He's just a spokesman.
I'm sorry.
Cartel. I said he's a spokesman for the cartel.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Funneling it through, you know, you have to have a porter. A porter will get it from point A to point B. But the porter also takes the responsibility when shit go wrong. It's horrible.
Mm.
These people
Yeah,
do what
it
they
is.
do, and the fighters, like, okay, Gerald McClellan, we know that he is on assisted living for the rest of his life after his fight with Nigel Benn.
He's still living, Joe McCullum?
Yes, man, he's still living.
Oh, wow.
He's under family care that, you know, it's costly. He's like
Yeah.
80% deaf. He's totally blind, and he has some paralysis, if I'm not mistaken, from his brain injury.
Yeah.
He can still speak, but he's messed up, and he needs medical assistance for the rest of his life. Now, those hundreds of thousands of dollars that the WBC try to say that they give to a fund for the welfare and well-being of fighters, do you know how much he has collected over the years since they say that they instituted that? Someone like Gerald should be set for life off of something like that. That's a lie. It's a lie. One more time. It's a fucking lie.
Mm. It's crazy.
He said in his interview with Mannix that the way that they were drawing money was over a projected fee. Projected. Now, think about that for a moment. Projected. So that means if they think that you're making $5 million, they're gonna draw their 3% or whatever off of that or whatever. But let's just say you were getting 15, and they find out you're getting 15, they're gonna charge you more. If you were getting 15, but the public didn't know what you were getting, they're gonna charge you even more. Because they don't think that you should be getting all of that money. They think they have a right to your money.
It's crazy.
He basically said it in the conversation. That's why when Mannix was saying, wait a minute, how are you charging Shakur? He's not even, you're not even involved in the fight with with T.O., and it's for the WBO's title. He was like, well, they didn't ask us for permission and get back to us. And when they did tell him that they were going to go up and fight for that, but he just came up. The rules say they make rules as they walk down the street. It's in the rules. It's in the rules. That's what he keeps saying. But the rules don't apply to certain people, like Canelo or Oscar Valdez.
Yeah, he brought that up. Yeah.
Huh? The rules don't apply to them. Or Julio Cesar Martinez. The rules don't apply to them.
And he asked, he said, well, what about the monster, you know? You didn't make him a mandatory to fight Canelo? Oh, we were going to do it. What do you mean we were going to do it? He was down there for years. Well, he moved up. Of course he moved up. He couldn't get the fight.
They let Canelo fight a former sparring partner for a title belt when they could have put a real contender in, like Anthony Durrell.
Mm-hmm.
Durrell had lost to Benavidez, but had made a comeback fight or so, and he was eligible to, he's still a highly ranked contending fighter. And they fought on the same night, actually. I think that Durrell, on that night, I think he fought Caleb Plant, if I'm not mistaken. And Canelo fought Yildirim when they could have been facing each other. It was a really stupid thing, but they did it to ensure that Canelo would have a victory.
Yeah.
Then he goes over and fights a guy like John Ryder, who didn't earn a title shot at all. Now, John Ryder, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to him. He got a decision, I think, over Danny Jacobs. But
so he beat Danny Jacobs? Ooh.
They stole a decision for Jacobs. And that was all fair play because Jacobs had stole a decision over Rosado,
Okay.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I know you thought.
Because Gabe fought a damn good fight against Jacobs, and he should have got the decision, and they gave Danny Jacobs the decision. And then when he went over to the UK, they gave the decision to Ryder. It was payback. And I did a live stream on it too. I was like, how you like them apples, Danny Jacobs? Huh? You go around and you hooping it up because you got a decision over Gabe when Gabe should have got that decision. And then you go over there with Ryder, and Ryder gets it over you. So Canelo fights him instead of Benavidez. Get out of here, man. This is crazy. And the WBC didn't say nothing. And when Chris Mannix said you ain't order Benavidez to fight Canelo, he was like, it's about time. What about the time? The man was the former champ. He didn't lose the title in the ring.
Lost it on the scale.
He lost it on the scale. That should have meant that he was in play to fight for the title again. And he didn't even lose the title on the scale like just coming in like what Ryan Garcia did against Devin Haney, right? He didn't do that. Yeah. That was during the time when the fighters were fighting under COVID and everything, and these little tents and stuff, gyms weren't open and stuff. It's like, and personally, and I still say this, I don't even think he lost the title on the scale. I think they had the scales adjusted for him because they were trying to get the title belt to Canelo. They were trying to funnel it to him. And once they gave it to him, he had a death-like grip on it. Benavidez was frozen out and never given a title shot. Do you know that man fought like 4 eliminators? 4. Mannix was kind to Suleiman, saying that he was like the contender for like 3 years. No, he was the contender for that title for longer than 3 years. People lose track of time because time flies by. Canelo should have fought that man long ago, and he's been avoiding him for a very long time. And I know why he's avoiding him, because he's avoiding him because there was a point in time where David Benavidez was Triple G's #1 sparring partner, while Triple G was the world champion. Mm-hmm. And word gets around about fighters like that. And they're like, oh, that kid is tough. He's rough, man. Watch out for him. Canelo was like, oh, really? Okay. He talked to Suleiman, hey, keep that guy. Keep him away from me. Suleiman was like, I got you, amigo. You think these games don't go on? Of course they do.
Yeah, boxing's so corrupt.
But see, think about it like this. What if Turkey was around then? Canelo wouldn't have had the belt.
No, you wouldn't.
See, that's the difference. And you got all these people
You,
here who have
you
been
don't think
enjoying the
Turkey can?
luxury of and benefit of the cheating. That it looks like this. Oh, if my guy who's benefited from cheating is forced to really get in there, he might get his ass whooped. Yes, most definitely. So they against Turkey. You understand? Hey, oh, this guy. Now I'm not saying Turkey is perfect because he's not, but for what he's been able to do, he's delivered more quality matches at the championship level for fighters to really show and prove who they are. And you've seen the shrinkage of a guy who's been a pretender, stepping back into the bushes like Homer Simpson, right? They stepping away from the competition. They don't want to get in there and lay it on the line. You even heard
Yeah.
Javante Tank Davis say, "Oh, guys are selling their over there. They're selling their belt." Man, no, they're putting quality fights, dude. You're fighting all these damn 80-20 matches against guys who can't get out the way of your punches whenever you decide to throw them.
He lost to his sparring partner.
Shit, ridiculous.
Yeah.
And see, the fanfare buys onto that. Because if you're supporting that fighter, then when he says this stupid stuff, you're like, yeah, that's right. No, it's ignorant. You sitting up there, you following that? It's like, it don't make sense. Like, okay, they ordered a rematch with him and Roach, but he walked away from it. If you such a badass dude, if you're the fucking man, the face of boxing, they gave you a draw that you shouldn't have had, go back in there and fight him again. But no, he ran away from it. He ran away from that so fast and so hard that he ran right into the arms of the fucking law. You know he's scared. You know he's scared.
He don't have Suleiman to back him up.
No, never.
Yeah, he got that. So he had to say, just lock me up, man.
And he an email belt carrier anyway. Remember, he's the one that termed it that, right? Calling Devin an email champion. Well, didn't he pick up Devin's scraps after Devin left the division? But you don't hear them talking about that. The email carrier from Baltimore. Yeah. Get mad all you want to, but that's a fact. Who did he beat for the title?
Yeah, that's a good question. They emailed it to him. He got a vacant. Then he get it from vacant. He ain't been in no championship fight.
Frank Martin has come back at 140 and knocked out Rancis Bartholomew, something that nobody's ever done to Rancis before. Frank Martin looked like a beast and took the guy out in like 3 or 4 rounds. It was like very short fight. It was like, I'm like, oh boy, I like that. Let me see Frank again. You understand? It's like,
he's still training with Derrick James?
I don't know. But I can tell you this. The fact that he came back and he's looking better than ever, that's what boxing is all about, bro. Yeah, he suffered a loss to Tank, but he's right back. Tank is afraid of losing. He said it out of his own mouth. He said that he don't want to be a meme. How many memes been made of his ass with the law and everything that you run right from the ring into the frying pan? Huh? He gonna be one of the biggest memes of all time. It's right there for you.
Yeah. You think Turk can buy all the WBC, WBO, IBF? Think he can buy all of them?
No, he's
like
not.
He did the ring?
No. First of all, listen. It's not about buying them, okay? And the WBC is bought already by the cartel. Listen,
They ain't giving it up.
they living off of the blood of these fighters, bro. But the other sanctioning bodies are being shamed because they're following the WBC. They don't do everything that they do, but they are. See, Bud Crawford exposed that when he talked about the fact that the other sanctioning bodies took acceptable amount in fee for when he defeated Canelo and won the undisputed titles. They took the money that was agreed upon. It was only the WBC that was like, oh, that's not enough. We want this amount. That's why he told them, he gave them the Tupac meme, the double FU fingers, Yeah, because it's like, who do you think you are? $350,000 is a lot of money, man.
Yes.
I don't care if a fighter is making millions.
That's what he's going to say.
Is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is where's that money going? And Crawford also told on them when he said they like to go stay at 5-star hotels and everything and wine and dine on the fighters' backs. If you look at that untailored suit that Superman wears, it's probably a few $1,000s. Huh? It ain't Brooks Brothers, but I'm going to tell you something. Where you think it's coming from? See, Mannix did a good thing when he had that interview with him. But I'm going to tell you something. Mannix is playing for the other team now, too. So Superman don't like that. But if you notice, he was asking him, why don't you come to our convention? It's in Thailand or whatever. Man, you go over there, your plane ain't coming back, okay? You don't do it. You chuckle. You don't see a smile on my face. Dude, these people play a certain kind of way in the game of life that the casual observer has no idea. That's why so many of these brothers and sisters out here, I won't say sisters because it's mostly these brothers out here that make this foolish content. They don't understand how the game really rolls because too many of them are selling out themselves.
Yeah.
See, you have to be a part of something to get acceptance and to be included and all of that. But when you're exclusively against that nepotism and all that, you can see clearly. They don't like that, bro. They don't like that at all.
Oh, it's just sad. Boxing is boxing been this bad in the 80s? I guess because I wasn't paying attention to the business side and the different sanctioning bodies. Was it this bad? I was just looking at fights.
It's been bad from the inception because, as Mike Tyson has articulated about it, it's the peddling of the flesh, boxing. Do you know what a bordello is?
No.
A bordello. It's like a whorehouse. Now, in a whorehouse, there's a chief operator, right? And that's usually called a what?
The madam, right?
Mm-hmm. But usually there might be somebody over the madam as well. Okay? But they run things a certain kind of way. And the girls that's in there, the entertaining and all of that, they have to behave a certain kind of way. There's certain things that they do, certain things that they're not allowed to do, and anything in between that is negotiable. Okay? Before that coin.
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't that sound a lot like boxing?
Yeah. Boxing is a dirty, 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 dirty sport.
So who's the madam in boxing?
The boxer.
Huh?
Who's the madam in boxing? It's
Yeah.
the boxer.
No. The boxer
Oh,
is the girl.
The
boxer
sanctioning
is
boxer.
the girl.
The girl. Yeah, the madam is the sanctioning boxer. What's the name? Suleiman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And under him is the promoter.
Oh, the promoters. Yeah. I thought. Yeah. They work hand in hand. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, because he tells the promoter what's going to be what. The promoter goes to him and say, hey, boss, can we get this fight under your sanctioning? Here's your envelope, by the way. You ever watch The Sopranos?
A little bit. Not really. A little bit.
Where them guys would come and they be handing Tony the envelope. You got the captains and all of that shit. Listen, man, listen. It's a system, okay? It's a system.
Yeah, I mean, and a guy like what's the name? The guy coming from Saudi Arabia. He
Turkey.
Can't even Turk. A guy like Turk, he can't even control what's going on with the sanctioning bodies. He can't even buy in. They not for sale. And
that's why
it's frustrating.
That's why he's doing his thing for you fighters who are free agents or want to be free agents and everything. He can pay them handsomely according to a margin that's been set for monies paid out, and they will have an opportunity to shine. Now, Suleiman don't like that because he can't get his hands on that money because that money is going straight to the fighter. But if the fighter's fighting for his WBC, then he can try to get his hands on the money.
Yeah, he can sanction them to get that money. Yeah, give us this. Yeah. If I was all the fighters, it was a WBC or WBO, Suleiman is, I wouldn't fight for them. I'll leave that title. I'll leave them alone. I'll fight for everybody else but them.
Yeah.
If you're a black fighter or BA, leave them alone. He already showed his hand. I wouldn't even fight for that. And if you do fight for it, and you want to fight a fighter like a big fighter over there, like Ortiz or Boots or something, you fight him, then you drop the belt.
Yeah, bro.
If you really want to do it. Because, you got to stand up for yourself. And you can't let these people go around dictating and showing they dislike and try to rule with an iron fist on you and only you. Come on, man. So blatant. You can't get away with that with nobody else. They ain't going to take it. Why should you?
Yep. Well, but
I want to see some good fights. Let me let you go. I got to open the lines for you.
Yeah. I got a couple people that's trying to call in, bro. I appreciate your call, B-Mac. You be strong out there, bro.
All right. Stay consistent, man. I got to give you something when I get some money, man. All right.
Okay. I appreciate you, bro. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Peace. Okay, the line is open now. We had a couple people trying to call. Line is open now. I can't take more than one call at a time for whatever reason. Google doesn't let me do that, so I don't have a party line, huh? So Here we are. Okay, we got 410 in the building. Who's calling? What's on your mind? Welcome to the show.
Hey there, Stormy. This is Jerry from Baltimore.
Jerry?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's good with you?
Hey, what's up, buddy? I wanted to talk a little bit about the sanctioning bodies in boxing. I want to make it clear right off the rip that I am not advocating for the sanctioning bodies. They're corrupt. Everybody knows that they're corrupt. Boxing is, as you were just talking about, it's a corrupt sport. It always has been. It just is. No way a fighter should have to pay to be the champion.
Absolutely.
I don't know when that. Yeah, I don't know how it ever became to be that way, because in no other sport does a fighter have to pay to be the champion. But in boxing, however, it's a classic case of what shouldn't be and what is. And it shouldn't be that way, but that's how it is. And it's been that way for quite a while. And the fighters, they know what the deal is. And more importantly, their handlers know what the deal is. They want the titles. Of course, the fighter wants to be champion and be called champion. But also, 12-round fights pay more than 10. And the belts are a promotional tool. That's what they are. Now, again, I'll reiterate, it shouldn't be that way, but that's how it is, and everybody knows that's the crack, you see. I listened to Sullivan's interview with the guy from ESPN. He was telling what went down, what his side at least, and according to him, he did not strip Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson was the WBC 135-pound champion, the representative at 135. He wanted to move out of the division to the next division and fight for another sanctioning body's belt. According to Sullivan, no organizations, the IBF or none of them, allowed for that. But he said the WBC rules can make an allotment for it. But if you want to do that, or you want to move out of the division and fight for another sanctioning body's title, he still wants his dollar. Now, people talk about boxing being a business, and that's what it is. But when you say that, you have to realize that Sullivan, that's pure good business. I mean, if you're our champion and you're going to fight, we expect you to defend our title, the one that you hold at 135 with the WBC. But if you're going to fight, he said, you can go up there, make some money, and take that fight. But if we're going to show off our title, it's going to cost X amount. And he referenced that Benavidez is doing the same thing when he fights Zerto, but he's requested that he can keep his 175-pound. I guess it's an interim belt, but he wants to keep it WBC, and he's going to have to pay. He's already petitioned to pay for the to do that. And I'm a small business owner myself, and I can tell you from a business perspective, I understand that. I understand why Sullivan, why that's the case. So, everything isn't always what meets the eye. The WBC, they value their belt more than the other sanctioning bodies do. They do. But guess what, my man, that's okay. That's okay. Nike values their shoes more than, say, other brands. There's no clear answer here, in my estimation, other than.
Oh, there's clear answer there, Jerry. Let me chime in here a minute, because I've given you a moment to speak. And though you say you're not advocate of the sanctioning bodies, you are advocating tremendously for the corruption that had took place over the situation. Because let me say, there was a fighter by the name of Canelo Alvarez who moved up to 175 to defeat Sergey Kovalev, and he wasn't charged with the titles that he had at 168. He wasn't given a demand of a fee for his purses and everything at 175. And there have been other instances with certain fighters that he did not do the same thing. Now, the Benavidez happens to be on the end of the situation because he's got a fight coming up, and it's similar to when Terrence Bud Crawford had put a lawsuit in against Top Rank for displaying racism. And shortly after that, Shakur Stevenson benefited from that situation because he was with Top Rank as well. And he got a couple of fights where Top Rank was trying to show that they weren't showing racism. You understand? So it's like it's moving the goalpost, brother. When people let me finish because I'll let you speak, right?
Sure.
So when it's convenient for you to place it within the realm of these rules that you make up as you go along, the beneficiary is always the person making the rules. It's one of the also reasons that they continuously make multiple belts. Now, Shakur had petitioned. He admitted that he wanted to retain his title at 135 and that he would be returning to 135, but he wanted that opportunity to face going in and going for another world title in another weight division. Upon achieving that, Suleiman said that they speculated what he made on that bout with Teofimo, and they wanted a cut of it. They had nothing to do with that fight. That was not a WBC title, that was a WBO title. And he said that he wanted to return to 135, and also the Ring Magazine title was at 140 when he was fighting T.O. So what this means is that upon his success, his market value goes up. And not only does his market value goes up, his pay scale goes up. And so where in the world does Suleiman and the WBC deserve to put their hands, their shitty little doodoo fingers, in his pockets when he won a title that had nothing to do with them? And he's to return to their division because in his last fight, he defended their title. He paid his sanctioning fee for fighting with that title. But he is not yet back at the division, and they're already stripping him because he says that he's not paying that fee that they had nothing to do with. And if you watch the interview with Mannix said it didn't make any sense whatsoever, even though he tried to explain, giving word salad to the situation that, well, they didn't respond to us, so we had no choice but to vacate the title from him. That was a lie. It's a lie. When a person lies, you have to call it for what it is. It's a non-truth, huh? Or as they said during Trump's first administration, alternative facts. What the hell is alternative facts? Something that is counterproductive to the truth. And that's what that man represents. It's corruption. And there's no other way to explain it. He had nothing to do with that. And he's in this man's business. He didn't even have a full accounting of what Shakur made. They were speculating. Just like he speculated against Bud Crawford. When Bud said, you don't know how much money I made. But I can tell you this, even though what was reported and all of that, Bud made enough money off of that fight with Canelo that he ain't coming back. And he shouldn't come back. Because if he did come back, they'd be trying to do something to him. Something more corrupt. Which has happened in the sport of boxing on a regular basis. But a lot of people who are casual to this situation, because as I said to the previous caller, B-Mac, this is a system. And when you buck the system, they got plans for your ass. So it's best to stay out when you don't go along with the program.
Several things. More times than not, when these fighters do what Shakur Stevenson did and Canelo did, you don't hear about it unless they don't want to pay. How do you know that Canelo didn't pay sanctioning fees when he fought Kovalev just because you didn't hear about it? That's because he paid them, just like Benavidez. I didn't know. I thought Benavidez was going to move to cruiserweight and possibly stay there. But according to Sullivan, no, he wants to come back, but he's paying. And that's why you're not hearing about his situation, because there's no forfeiture of the title. You don't know that Canelo didn't pay those fees. Likely he did. I don't think Sullivan, especially with a cash cow like Canelo, is going to let him not pay when he had already stripped Canelo at middleweight when he didn't want to fight Golovkin. He stripped him then. So there's that. Secondly, when you say he had nothing to do with the fight, well, yeah, there was no WBC title on the line, but Shakur Stevenson is the lightweight champion of the WBC. So when he fights, Sullivan expects that he's going to defend their title because he's the champion there. And it's a perfect business sense that if you're going to fight and you're not going to defend our title where you're the champion, you're going to go fight for another belt in another division. He said he wanted to come back, but how does he know that he's going to come back? Personally, I don't think he should move back down, belt or not. He looked better at 140 and stronger to me at 140, but that's irrelevant to the case that there's no guarantee that he's going to come back. So now the belt gets shelved for anywhere from 6 months to longer. Who knows? And I understand from a business perspective, and I will reiterate, I'm not advocating for the WBC or any sanctioning body because they're corrupt and they make the rules as they go along. My advocating is for the fact that people say boxing's a business, but they don't understand the true gamut of the business. They only think about it's a business for the fighters to get their purse demands or the promoters to make their money. But the sanctioning bodies are every bit, they're the cog in the wheel of the business of boxing. And so they're part of it. They've been part of it. They have their roles. And whether we like them or not, the fighters are aware of them. And that's how it is. And Canelo is no different. And, but you could take all kinds of exceptions and things like Jamal Charlo. He was allowed to keep his belt. He speaks about that. Mannix asked him about that, and he says, the guy was going through a lot of mental issues, so we made exceptions for him to hold on to the belt a little, longer than what should have been. So
Jerry, you can believe that crap all you want to, brother. Let me tell you
something.
something.
He held the belt for 2 years without defending it.
No, listen, man. Listen, you can have your position. You can have your position on the situation all you want to. Okay, that's fine. But I feel differently, and it's not a point of contention to make me be along with what you say or me try to make you be along with what I say. But I want the public and the masses to understand that people are influenced heavily. When there's a system in place and someone is bucking the system, they have rules, they have policy that they try to tie in to make someone appear to be the bad guy. In this instance, Bud Crawford and Shakur Stevenson appear to be the bad guy because they didn't want to pay sanctioning fees that they weren't due to pay to Stormybman and the WBC. That's the bottom line.
You say weren't due. How
They
had
had
not
nothing to do. The WBC had nothing to do with the. Remember when Mannix asked him about those fees, he said it's not about the money, but he said whether it's $1 or $1 million, we are projecting what they're making. In other words, they just want to collect fees from these
You heard
fighters.
that part? Did you hear the part where he says why they projected?
I heard all of it, brother. I heard all of it. But what I'm saying, Jerry, you are not going to convince me otherwise.
Well, we're just talking about it, bro.
We're talking about it, but what I'm saying is you stated that your position is the WBC had a right to these men's money. I said they do not.
Okay. Well, let's see how many WBC champions give up their belt. Because according to Sullivan, he didn't strip them. He forfeited the belt by not paying the fees according to the rules of the WBC.
That's his explanation on the air with an on-air camera interview. He stripped them, just like they stripped Bud Crawford. It was stripped, bro. Listen, if they stripped it and they took the belt, but when you ask him what happened, oh, well, he forfeited. Oh, it's the same thing, that he doesn't have the title anymore.
Okay. Well, I'll give you one last soliloquy. When I built the house in 2001, I was in the bank, me and my wife signing the papers for the loan, big stack of papers. The first paper was an itemized list of things that had to be paid for. And the first one was impact fees. And I said, impact fees? Because they were substantial. What is this? She bowed her head. She looked up. She said, the bank ain't got nothing to do with them. That's the state that charges those fees. And I know they're substantial, but there's nothing we can do about it. I said, well, what are they for? She said, well, the state claims that when you build a house, you're going to have trucks showing up with material and tradesmen and stuff, and it puts pressure on the roads, and that's what they value it at. It was a lot of money. I said, yeah, but I already pay income taxes that pay for road repair. She said, they don't care. I said, well, the guy that's building my house is my wife's uncle, and he lives on the same road we do where we're building. He lives 5 houses down. They don't care. She said, and even though you and your wife are gainfully employed and you have the credit, if you don't agree to these impact fees, you can't build the house, and we can't lend you the money. There's no way around it. So, well, like I said in the early going, there's what shouldn't be, and then there is what is. And everybody knows the deal. And when she made me aware of the deal, it was up to me at that point whether I wanted to do business with the state as a consumer, because at that point, that's what I was. That's what the fighters are when they fight for these titles, whether it should be that way or not. That's how it is. I'm not trying to convince you. That I can tell you're not going to be convinced. But I look at the situation for what it is, not what it should be, but for what it is. And that's all. That's about it.
And what that happens to be, once again, is corruption.
Well, how can it be corrupt when you're made aware? Like, if I make you aware, the bank made me aware of those fees. Now, had they hid those fees from me and tried to tack them on somewhere else and some shady shit, then I would agree. But if you're aware, while it may be wrong, how can it be corrupt?
Because we're talking about boxing and not that. You gave an example of that situation that's not boxing, but in talking about this boxing, Suleiman said that Shakur Stevenson's people petitioned to go up to fight at this other division. They were not informed that they would be charged fees for doing so. They were not.
You believe that?
Yes, I do.
So then why is the fees an issue? What do you think he was just going? No, he was made aware. In fact,
I don't believe he was. And see,
Sullivan said he's the one that petitioned for it. Shakur petitioned for it because when you make that type of move, you have to petition the WBC. Otherwise, if you just move out the division and fight, you automatically get stripped. That's all sanctioning bodies. You can't just go out of the division and make fights like that and not and with no obligation to the commission or the sanctioning body. So, of course,
I gave the example of Canelo going up and down several different divisions. Dude, he even had his own weight. Listen, he had his own weight division that people referred to as Canelo weight, bro. He had his own weight division.
For one fight, and you don't know that he didn't pay.
Did you hear what I just said? You too busy running your mouth. I said Canelo had his own weight division. They called it Canelo weight. Are you aware of that?
What are you talking about when he was a middleweight champion fighting at 154, 55?
He was fighting at 155.
Right. Well, yeah, I'm aware of that. And like I said,
and they allowed that. They allowed that because at 154 there was stout champions that or challenges that they just didn't feel that were right for him at that time. And the two men, the twins, were there along with Lara and a few other fighters. So what they were trying to do was finagle their way around the sport to exist. And when they had the right opportunity, they put him in a situation where he could snatch one of the belts. Listen, this happens. This is the sport of boxing. But I'm going to say this. The WBC, and it's not just coming from me, it has been stated by so many others, is the most corrupt out of the sanctioning bodies. They are. And they have a huge backing because of an alleged association with people who are undesirables. And Canelo has even stated that. He has. It is on record.
There's a simple answer. Don't fight for the WBC.
Exactly. But there's a learning curve for a lot of fighters because fighters are looking at opportunities, but they're not looking at the future. They're not looking at what's down the line. And this is why a conversation that I'm having needs to be had because it can educate people. It's not about slamming anything or anyone. It's about opening up the window of someone's mind toward what's before them. And that's the most important thing, to be able to have objectivity, thinking before you act, and making certain that your actions, after correct thought, place you in a position to be okay, to stand on firm ground. That's what that's about.
Well, I have the same objective. And again, I have to reiterate about what shouldn't be and what is. I like Raisin Bran. When I go to the grocery store, the Raisin Bran I like is the Kellogg's. It's expensive. It's $10 a box. I've bought the off-brand stuff and the store-bought stuff. It's cheaper, but I don't like it. So as a consumer, my option is, well, I can either pay the $10 for the Kellogg's or I can buy this other stuff that I don't like. Boxers, when they fight for these sanctioning bodies, they're basically consumers because they have to pay for them. And this is well known. They know it. Their handlers know it. It's been that way for a long time. So the simple answer is, don't fight for the WBC. If you don't like how they do business, don't do it. But watch how many fighters are not going to turn down the opportunity to fight. And watch how many are going to willingly give up their WBC belt that they worked hard to get and they use to promote themselves. Not going to happen. And this Zuffa boxing, it's a lot I like about it. But if they could get control of boxing and they got one belt, guess what? Now you have no option. That's not the answer either. I don't like it. I'm not saying that I like it, man. I don't think that fighters should have to pay at all for the belt. So I like Zuffa doing that. But what I don't like about Zuffa is when there's no other option, now you're going to do just what they say. And there's no option otherwise. And so I don't think there's an easy answer other than, in the end, it's well known how the WBC operates. The WBA is as corrupt as the WBC. They're not as prestigious. They don't get the attention, but they're every bit as corrupt. All four of them sanctioning bodies are corrupt. But that's what it is. That's how it's been. And until something changes, that's how the game is played. Just like with the bank there. I didn't like that. I didn't want it. I tried everything to get around it. They just told me that's how it is, and that's all it is. But good conversation, because my objective is just like yours, to make people aware of the whole thing. Not to advocate for the WBC, but there's two sides to every story, and what I think I illustrated is the other side. thank you for the time.
Have a good day, sir.
All right.
Okay, we back, family. You know that's interesting, right? That this happened. You know. Hey. Yeah. 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 You know what it is. You know what it is. No, I didn't lose signal. My stream got interrupted. I had to reboot, go out and come back. But as soon as the call ended though. No, I hear you, Daryl. Daryl, I'm talking about me. I'm like, yeah, but this is what it is, man. You see? I gotta pull my Rumble back up too. Apologies for anybody over there on Rumble where it's been acting up. Oh boy. Can somebody, let me see it. Try to put that Rumble link back in there. But y'all see that, right? Yeah, thanks, Columbia. I was just about to put that back in there. Yeah. See, when that kind of thing happens, I have to reboot everything, and even including my stream over to Rumble. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but Coach Hudson, you saw that, right? You could clearly see what was happening here. In fact, Coach, if you got a moment, why don't you call in? If you got a moment. Yeah, Anthony Manzano. Yeah, I'm aware of that, which is why you see me trying to build my audience over on Rumble, because that's gonna be the move for me. That's gonna be the move for me. Because they playing too many games over here. Yeah, buddy. Eric O, I appreciate you following me over there to Rumble, bro. Thank you so much. Yeah. Anthony, a realistic middle is for people, the public, to support the platforms as they expand. Just like you have Dana doing Zuffa, support it. You got Turkey doing Riyadh season, support it. That shows that your interest, you are invested in what's going on. If you just want to stick around to where they're going to continue to not put on the best, not give you what you are desiring, and to kind of forcibly tell you you're going to accept what they're doing and like it, which has been said and stated, then things won't get better. But there's a reciprocated process of people investing and them giving back. So that's what that has to be. And people need to understand that. That's how that works. It's like when you plant seeds in the soil, if you don't, have fertilizer down, if you don't have, proper watering and sunlight and everything, you're not going to bear much fruit. It's an investment. But yeah, we're getting close to my closing time. I had to start a half hour earlier, but since nobody else has called in, I'm gonna get ready to put this down. Yeah. But Columbia, I really appreciate your support and helping me out with that, those links and everything. That's really doing the number for me. I really appreciate that. But we're going to get ready to call it a day. It's been a good show. A couple of good calls. Yeah. Yeah. But I'm like I understood what that call from Jerry was. That's the other side speaking, you guys. That's the other side speaking. Agents of chaos are already sent out, always sent out into the medium. You have to understand what you're dealing with. Yep. Agents of chaos. You know I know it. So, but you guys tune in this evening. It's going to be a good fight. Get a chance to see Ajagba and Martin. You know. Let me see here. Trying to pull up, see what time. Doggone pop-ups, man. They're saying ring walks about 9:30 Central Time. 9:30 Central Time. So we'll see. We'll see. But I'm going to get ready to get on out of here. I appreciate everybody that hung in when I had that glitch. Yeah. And I'm hungry. It's time to eat. So, yeah, you guys get on out of here. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I want to say shout out to the mighty LDBC. We'll catch you guys next Sunday for another Answering the Bell. Thank you. Don't forget to share the content. Spread it across the social medias, man. Hey, this was a good show. So you guys hold fast to it. Peace.